Welcome to Learning Bites. We're tackling 7 threats to your team's culture. And today we're going to be looking at rigid thinking. Rigid thinking often comes into your team and into your culture when they're overly reliant on SOPs, where people don't understand why they do what they do. You can often pick this up inside of your team when you hear people saying things like, we've always done it this way. We do it this way because that's the way we do it. And there's no attempt to understand why you do it that way, which can lead to people doing things that they know are quite silly or just make no logical sense, but they do it because that's what they've been taught. That's the way it should be done around here. Some recommendations around overcoming this. This is where your mission and your vision and your values become very important. When the team understands why you exist and what you're aiming to achieve and the behaviors you want around that, it gives them the freedom to look at an SOP and realize that that's a guideline for how something should be done, but to look at the spirit of it rather than the letter of the law of it. And that gives people the freedom to be able to go, in this situation, this is the logical, sensible thing to do. Another recommendation is that you watch whether people are taking initiative. Quite often, rigid thinking and rigid processes can be seen and spotted when people are just waiting to be told what to do, where they're not actively seeking out work. So look at your team and see how much initiative people are taking, because that can be a very early indicator to stop this creeping into your team. Some questions for you. Do you find that people do things robotically without taking much initiative? Are your team members constantly looking to improve, or do you hear that little mantra around the office, we've always done it that way? Do you take time to walk around and listen to the types of conversation team members are having, to observe your team and to see how much initiative people are putting into their work and how engaged they are and enthusiastic they are? Do you ever hear people going, well, this is bloomin' silly, and then continue to do it anyway? Some actions for you. Look at your team and listen to them. A key part of leadership and management is walking around and getting a feel for your team. If you hear people getting frustrated around a process, getting frustrated around a system because it's dictated how they should do it, stop and have a conversation with them. Either help them to understand why you do it that way, and/or show them what scope they've got to vary it to get the ideal outcome for the internal customer and the external customer. Ensure your team understands why they do what they do, not just what to do. This comes down again to understanding the mission and the vision, but more than that, at a granular level, understanding how your actions each and every day feed into other people's workloads, feed into the overall company's direction and purpose for being. Creating an environment where people are free to do the right thing, to do the sensible thing, to use common sense, to use initiative will help your organization to stand out and makes a far more enjoyable place to work. Here's to your success. Thanks so much for watching. If any of this resonated and you'd like to reach out, feel free to give me a call on 0272 987 523 or email me at mike@thinkright.co.nz. Or if you would like some additional resources, go to our website www.thinkright.co.nz.